This is Justin on Monday, September 19th. Take a look at SPX on the 3 minutes. So this is where my chart ended up for the day. And I'm going to show you how I built the chart to be this, because this is not how it was, and I missed some great trades. So I'm going to go ahead and start just deleting some stuff off of here, and we're just going to rebuild it kind of as the day went. So I thought about pausing the video, but it's a little more fun just to do that. All right, let's go back to yesterday. So the first thing that I had done was just extend this triangle to the right because I saw pre-market, it looked like we were gapping down. I thought, well, maybe this will be some support, or maybe we'll get below it. Who knows? Right out the gate, we pushed below, held the hammers, these two lower ones from yesterday, and then bounced, made this crazy dragonfly doji. And so from there, I'm like, okay, what are we doing? Is this a bounce? Are we going to roll back down? It's an inside gap. It's got a lot of bearish strength to it. What's going to happen? I didn't know, and I just kind of waited. So I'm going to zoom back out to this, and it really wasn't until we ran back up. So I was looking for like a bull candle to get taken out, 10 EMA strategy, but it had to wait an hour. So I really wasn't looking for anything till an hour passed. And then sure enough, this candle came in as a bullish candle, got taken out. I'm sorry, as a bearish candle above the 10, that got taken out here. So this is a trade that could have worked. I thought, you know what, we've got a lot of resistance right in here. We got this up here. I don't think I'm going to take this, but I'm going to kind of track with it and see what's going on. We ended up putting in a double top here, and I really wanted a bull candle to close below the 10, and we didn't get it. And once we're over here and we put in this this double top, I noticed there was a little bit of divergence. So you have this high here, and then this lower high, and then a higher high from this one. And I thought, well, okay, these two, that's going the wrong way on the RSI. So, that's another reason for it to go down. But I'm like, you know what? I kind of like that angle. So I'm going to duplicate this. And I brought it over here. And I'm like, oh, look at that. Kind of the open of that price is intersecting there. And if I line it up with the open of the day with that, it just kind of fit. And so I had this drawn in. Actually, I drew it in after we ran into this. It's like, those three all look like they line up, take the same angle. And then as we were running back up into this one, I thought, okay, this is a good place to short. I'm wrong if we get above this because that would be a higher high, and we didn't get above it. We rolled back down, which is great. But I'm like, where else could we, run back? Could we roll back down to? So I grabbed this line, duplicate that, and I thought, well, what's another good price? So this is a good price here. It's kind of in the middle of these. We ran into some resistance there. We bounced off it here. Okay, we slowed down a little bit with some of these candles. We bounced off of this with like a little double bottom thing. Hammer here, another hammer. Okay, I like this level for the screen line. Thinking we should, if I can get into this bearish here, it'll just be like this yesterday when we rolled all the way back down. So I was looking for a roll back down from here into the green line. Didn't get it. We bounced, and the options I was in were just about break even here. So I shorted it, as high as I could, basically without being wrong, which was great. And then it rolled back down, and I was able to get out somewhere over here. I'm like, this is not rolling down like it did yesterday. I'm just going to get out. But I also wondered where else could that come back down to if it's not going to hit the green line. So I did this, and so this double top shape with this hammer here and the hammers here, it's like, okay, this could be really nice. So all we did was really channel up here, and it was a really nice just a little channel here, and then just a lot more of the same thing here. And this is why the options really didn't work too well. So we had a false breakdown here, false breakout here, pulled right back into the middle of this range, and then just took off. But it wasn't until after that happened that I realized, okay, we obviously weren't holding the green line. Let me get rid of that. What other angle could we have been holding in here that I didn't really notice? So I duplicated this, and I'm going to flip it to white, and then I'm going to copy this digit, these digits, and copy these digits. And I'm just going to switch them. And what that does is it inverts it. So I'm going to do that. There we go. Here's the inverted line. So it's got the same angle going up as the purple line going down. All right. I'm going to line it up with where we rested here, and it touches the hammers here. And we get a little bit of this kind of crossover support. We have the same false breakdown here, and then we bounce right off of that. And so if you kind of take away this purple and you just see, oh, well, yesterday this was a descending triangle and we broke out. And the other thing I also noticed is it was really about the same time of the day. So it was between like 1:15 and 1:45, and here we are, 1:15, 1:45, and that, you know, that moved out through there and then moved out through there. So that was like the same time. And I thought, I wonder if we're going to do something like that. And sure enough, that is what we ended up doing there. My bad. There we go. Alarm stopped. All right. So this is pretty much what I noticed later. So then I can turn off the right extensions and the right extension there. And it's like, it's a really nice symmetric triangle. And its apex is pretty close to where yesterday closed, pretty close to, you know, where we ran up into yesterday, just above the 50% mark, or about the 50% mark of this big candle here. And we, you know, had our first sign of taking that out earlier in the day when we got above this high, and then we closed above it. And then this candle, or this, not this candle, this line comes from the low way over here that we held as a low here, and then we gapped totally below. We're back above it now. So that's the story of how my chart became my chart for the day. And yeah, I really wish I had done this angle earlier. It's just the inverted, it's just the same down angle as the up angle. It's just inverted. And it's like, if I had this drawn in, maybe I wouldn't have been looking for the exact same move as yesterday. Because yeah, I mean, even, and I said 145, but like till 140. So 145 was the breakout. 145 is really where we bounced and started to break here. So yeah, made a little bit going down, and then tried again going down and got out because it wasn't working right away, and should have flipped. And if I had flipped, so we'll go look at the options. So I don't have the same lines drawn in, but I was looking at the 3850 puts, and I was in at, what was it, 250? It was in, let me zoom in on this a little. Oops, that's not what I wanted to do. Let's try that again. Okay, so it was right in here, I think in this candle, it filled me at 250 because I really liked how this came into the low. Originally, I'm like, oh, it shouldn't pull back that far. I'll get in at like 350, or no, maybe 3. It's like, well, wait a minute. I've already put a low here. This is one of the things I've noticed with options is it tends to retest back to that same price, the same low. Just like we had very similar lows through here at 4. And then we came back down and retested over here before breaking down. Like it actually bounced off of 4 again. And then it held 4 as a resistance. And so we came back down here and got down to 250, down to 235. So it was only down on the options a little bit. And then it bounced. And I should have gotten out at 4 if I had noticed. All I had to do was draw a line. Like that's really all this is sometimes. It's like, oh, hey, where was previous resistance? Oh, right there at like 4. Okay, I should get out at 4. And I didn't do that. But that's how simple it is a lot of times with options. It's like, okay, maybe that could work. So anyway, this line corresponds like we were doing yesterday. No, it doesn't. Oh, that would have been the second purple line where we did some bouncing there, right? Let me ultimately take that. So that would be the white. No, it doesn't really correspond. Anyway, I'm not going to think through what those prices were. Yeah, it was that second purple line, I think. But anyway, over here as we roll down, what's really interesting is we did have some bull candles closing below the 10, especially this one right here. See this one right here? And then we had this bear candle closing above the 10 that was part of the false breakout. It was just a little bit early. That's all it was. So if we look at this, you can see bear candle closing above the 10. It started to work, immediately retested. Your stop should have been further down, like down here. And if you had played that, even if you had played this candle, not necessarily the 38.75, but I wanted to show you the 38.75 for another reason. Because over here with this bull candle on the 3-minute, there was a bear candle over here. And you could have gotten this set up with like getting in right above it. The range was a little, it's above a buck, so it wouldn't quite have worked. But then it's a matter of, okay, could you go out a little further? Could you go out to 38.80 and do the same thing? And you had this candle, the range was under $1. So that could have been a good risk. And then here's the 38.85, and that was right on it, and that was only 0.6, so that's even smaller. But the other thing I noticed is, if I had this white line drawn in, we've got this kind of double top here, double bottom here, double bottom shape here, and you could have just been buying down here like a blind buy, but I don't like spending that much on a blind buy. So what if you did like 38.90? What was the option doing there? That's getting you in less expensive. Here we are below $1, and you already have the signal that it's breaking above the purple line at 136, which is about the same time it was doing this yesterday. And then it pulls back. So like, here's the framework. Here is what I'm noticing always after the fact. We're going to get some of these. Here's the breakout at 124. Here's the breakout. It was an actual real breakout through the purple line at 136. So 12 minutes later. Okay. Close enough for day trading. And even then, that was this candle, 136. Then it came all the way back down and put in the same low, at a buck, you could have bought for a buck. That's the 38.90. Okay, if you're still not even convinced, then half an hour, risk half an hour. The low on the, this is going to be harder to show. Do this. There we go. So the low over here on the 3,900 call was below 50 cents. So you could have just risked half an hour, absolute zero. You have an hour left, hour and a half left in the day, a little more than an hour. And you're in at half an hour, and you're just going to see, could we have a rally just like yesterday? And this kind of thing, it's like when it's already starting to go. So you could have still bought for 0.5 all the way to this candle at 157. So just before 2 o'clock. At 157, we were already over here. It's like, okay, it's run back right back up to the same resistance. It should roll back down. This is too much resistance in this area. Nope, continues on up. It's like, what's more likely? It's broken out of the purple line just like yesterday, that it's going to continue on up, trapping any bears, or that it's going to stop in its tracks and reverse and you lose half an hour. Take the chance, take the risk. It's not a chance. It's a high probability that it's going to work at least to like double that risk from 0.5 to 1. This is the kind of thing, like thinking through what is actually the downside here. Downside is you lose half an hour. The upside is really how high could it go? And so I've zoomed way in here, but you can see if I zoom back down, I don't know that this is a real wick. It could very well be, but let's say just for the sake of argument, you got in at 0.5 and you see that it starts to go, and it's even here. No, you know what? You probably would be getting out right here because that's the resistance, same resistance earlier in the day. So you're probably out at maybe 125, even that. But again, what is the downside? Like, could it just explode and go higher? and you get out at a previous resistance at like 3, sure. Okay, set your target at 3. And if it doesn't work, you can still get out for like $1. So you can trail your stop up to like $1 after whatever move, or you can try and get out for break even 0.5. Any of that could have still worked. Um, but it's just it's a really good, like that. It's a really good setup to already see it moving. The option has not caught back up because the market makers don't want to pump this up full of premium. And so they're holding it back, or the Greeks are holding it back. And then it literally gets almost in the money by the end of the day. But because this is the last hour and it has to be built up with that premium, option value nearly 10x's. It just depends on if that's a real wick. If we go back to, I think it was 38, I think that one did 10. What was the low here? Yeah, you could have bought it $1. Could have hit a target of 10. So that's a 10x. So we multiplied the option value by 10. So that's a 10x. It actually only took, what was that, like 30, less than 30 minutes to do that. So that's pretty cool. Anyway, we're gonna continue to look at these. I'll walk you through what I did with setting up the chart, obviously after the fact. But I had this purple line in here. I traded off of that and made an R on its way back down. I was really hoping for that green line to come in. It looked great. It's such a good fit. I should have known. Like, it's too good. It's not going to work like that. And it didn't. So I should have been looking for a different line. So between yesterday's descending triangle, today's symmetric triangle, maybe we'll get an ascending triangle tomorrow. I don't know. Guess we'll have to wait and see. Hope this helps. This is Justin. Thanks.